Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm in Ibiza right now. I scratched my nose. Not really sure how that happened. But I just wanted to make a quick little video talking about the power of independence. This is gonna have like a few parts. I'm not planning this out at all, but I'm on this trip by myself. I take most of my trips by myself. And I actually came with a friend. She wasn't feeling too good, so she went back to the States. I'll be spending my birthday alone in Spain. If you scroll down on the channel, it's kind of a theme, I feel like, but me being alone on my birthday. But I actually feel like aloneness is something I'm called to preach or like touch on, and it's like a big part of my life path journey, being an only child. I didn't have like siblings to look up to. You guys know, like we all know the only child syndrome or whatever. But from being an only child and developing a lot of being okay with aloneness, I would like to give you just a little bit of perspective if you're feeling like friends have been letting you down, if you feel like you're going into a new chapter where you're gonna have to leave people behind, or if you just feel like an odd ducky out, that's okay. There is no one like you. You should just be yourself. Value people, of course. I don't want this to be something that's like me stressing hyper independence, because we are interdependent. We don't live independently from people, and we shouldn't rely on people too much. But there's a beautiful balance of interdependence where the community starts to flow. I have been wanting to explain this to the world for a very long time, but I sense such a palpable switch of like a flow of energy when someone is receiving, wishing to receive, or when someone is wishing to give. And this concept alone, this concept, whoa, you're not getting any programs, don't worry, okay? I'm like super preachy right now. But like this one concept, I feel like every energy struggle could be solved with this one. It's really hard for me to talk about these deep topics because they all relate, and it makes it really confusing. I'm not even gonna, I ain't even gonna hold you fans so hard. But basically, I don't really know like what my hair is doing. But basically, I look at people, I like to group people into two groups for simplicity's sake. There's like the outputters, and then there's like the intakers. And if someone is an intaker, it's like literally so draining to be around these types of people. And you're not like a type of person, everyone has moments where they need to intake energy, but if it's more often than not, you're an intaker. We're gonna label you as an intaker. And if you're an outpourer or an outflower, you are additive to a space. You bring things to the table. I literally hate that I just said that. But like, you are constantly looking to see where you can add to a space, and naturally it's just easy for other people to be around you because you're considering your outpour. The focus is on what you are giving as opposed to like what you are receiving, and the implications of just that switch of energy flow is insane, honestly. It's literally insane. And it's just like pouring. And so I'd like to now link this back to, I don't know if it's Hermetic text. We can try to find it, and I'll try to put it down here and quote it. But I'm just gonna explain it. If source is the source of source, and we are trying to be like source, then we must be the source of our source. You guys get that? I literally love this shit. It's like a fucking riddle. Life is just a big old riddle. But if source is the source of source, if God is its own source, and we are trying to be Christ-like creatures, coming from a Judeo-Christian normative society, we're trying to be Christ-like or godly creatures. And source is the source of source. That means to be godly, we must become our own source. And that looks like not externally reaching for things all the time outside of ourselves, knowing that our power isn't out there, but in here. And even knowing that makes you literally tolerable to be around. I'm sorry, but let's go now to the opposite, the intakers. The intakers, they still talk, they still outflow, energy, but the intention is to intake, and that is why it is literally so draining. Pick me, Sha. No, people who are like fishing, this is big like fishing energy. If someone seems disingenuous with how they are coming across, it might be intake energy, because they might be sapping unintentionally. Validation, attention, pretty much those two things. But they're not going to just do it outright, or maybe they are, which is honestly more commendable. If you need attention, be a performer, literally. But it's like going under the guise of regular chat, but it's actually, this is something you can just see within yourself and see if you are constantly adding to things. And I would say that the intake is more unconscious, and if you're speaking in terms of conscious and unconscious, it's just like general awareness. So if the intake is less aware, the outpour is more aware. And to know where you are placing your energy takes more conscious thought. You're just being more conscious, and you're placing it intentionally instead of just receiving, you know what I mean? And so now I'll trace this Kellyism of like inflow and outflow back to the law of cause and effect that I love, Hermeticism. This is gonna be from like the Kabbalion by the 3 Initiates. This is Hermeticism. It's a really old / the oldest thought grouping. I don't know, it predates religion, it predates the pyramids. It's like the Egyptian lore that's so mystical ties into the Renaissance and makes the Renaissance pop off. Hermes Trismegistus / Thoth, which is basically the personification of logos, or language, or word, and word is the concept of analogy, in my opinion. This is another Kellyism. I'm just like ranting a little bit here, but let's tie it back to cause and effect. We're gonna do another, let me know if you want like a Hermeticism video, and I can try to pull up facts and data, but these like mystery school teachings, I believe that the universe makes it purposely extremely confusing, so you literally have to get underwater in nuance before, and it takes belief. I think that words are switched up by fairies, so it does take some aspect of belief, but to me it's the most like scientifically grounded thing, just like holistically. We're gonna move on back to cause and effect, but cause and effect is, I think, the 4th or 5th law in Hermeticism, or in the Kabbalion. And there's a lot of fun hacks that we can do with cause and effect. And we are a victim to cause and effect. I guess I'll just be explaining this law a little bit. But we are affected by media, by government, and like we're not causing it. That's a really easy example of that. If you are a celebrity and you want to have your album pop off, maybe you're gonna get in a fight with a paparazzi at the beach. Cause and effect. And sometimes they don't correlate explicitly to an outside viewer, but if you can short circuit the system and have your own causes, you can have your desired outcomes. This is like a graduated version of inflow, outflow. Once you can start to outflow, then you're having conscious thought, having cause and effect, and also having extreme responsibility. This is not for the shelvers. This is not for the shirking responsibility. This is not for the chillers. You are having causes and you are feeling those effects. So if you are more conscious in your cause, you can take full responsibility for the effect and just live life instead of being, I guess, the intake is the opposite. It's giving government, like, I'm affected by causes. It's giving victim, honestly. And since everything relates, I'm not gonna like give you advice on what to do. A lot of the times, conscious thought and just presence with truth reveals the answers that we need. But I will encourage you with this one thing, since everything is tied together, a lot of the times we don't know where to start. Okay. how do I say this? A lot of the times we don't know like where to start. If I'm depressed, do I eat healthier, or do I work out, or do I make friends, or do I do this? And since everything is tied through cause and effect, correlation and causation, I don't really know where I'm going with that. Basically, everything's correlated if you can frame it correctly through words, which are groupings. Everything's correlated. With that being said, if you change one thing, another thing's going to change. So just start like flipping shit around and shit will change, and then notice the effects. That's all I can say. It's like, when I feel not good about myself, have found working out is the best way to remedy that. But it's not like, oh, I work out and then now I make a bunch of money. But like, it does work like that. You know what I mean? Maybe maybe those weren't the best examples for me, you know what I mean? But that's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying is mess around with it and take responsibility for the flows of energy. Oh, this was supposed to be about traveling alone. Independence. I'm honestly just like a life learner, and I like to be independent. Friends are amazing if they can match your level of inflow and outflow, or else it's gonna be draining. That's pretty much it. And I feel like people who outflow don't have as much of a need for friends, but a true appreciation and open contributive spaces are the best at collaborating. That is just what I've noticed. Hopefully this crossed some wires and like re-plugged some things for you, and if it didn't, that's okay. I'm just trying to do more sit-down videos because I have so much in my brain and it takes so long to edit a vlog, and I don't feel like it's as rich as what I have to say. Speaking of rich, I'm in Ibiza. I'm gonna get ready. I guess this is going vlog mode, but thank you so much for listening. If you felt a type of way watching this, I'd love to know how I affect you, and bye.